be individual. Try to seek help, but try to seek help into a manner which is less personal to people. Okay? It's good to know people from your community, but it's also good to not join communities. Try to do the things by yourself. Expand your mind. When you get stuck into communities, sometimes you get stuck and you don't see outside the box. Always think outside the box.
Ciao a tutti and welcome to another episode of Outsider. I'm Mattia and I'm your host. Today I'm joined by Bruno. He's a double bass player in a band called The Brains. They've been recently touring around Europe and I'm glad he gave me some of his time for this interview. I love his rock and roll energy and his culture as well. He's from Portugal and I'm not a kind of guy that opens up too much and talking is not my forte. But what I'm trying to do with this podcast is to prove that everyone has a story and we're only humans. Everyone is a human. So yeah, if you guys like this stuff, please make sure you follow us on Instagram and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And here's my conversation with Bruno. Hello, Bruno. Thank you so much for being here today. How are you?
How are you, Matt? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. It's interesting what you're doing.
Thank you.
Great work. I'm fine. Thank you.
That's good.
Just came back from a tour with my band and obviously 1 week of work after that. I was a bit exhausted, but yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah, I bet it is. Thank you very much for the compliment. And it's a pleasure for me to have you here. Tell us about your tour right now. Where have you guys been? Name of the band?
Well, I've recently joined a band called The Brains, originally from Canada. Obviously, I was invited to play bass for them. I play double bass, so for the people that don't know. We've been on tour for 25 days in Europe. We've done like 9 countries. Lots of hours of road, lots of stress, as it is, but it was great fun, great shows, great crowd, great people, and exhausting, but yes, it's very rewarding.
It's amazing. It's amazing what you guys do. You say you've done Hungary, UK.
Yeah, we started in Spain. We've done England. We've done 5 shows in England, and then we went to Germany. We went to Austria. We went to Croatia, Czech Republic, Slovakia. We went to Hungary, and then backwards and forward. So we've done like shows in the same country like 2-3 times. That's how we done it.
That is sick. Yeah. But like you said, very very exhausting on the
body,
right?
Yes, of course. Yeah,
what was the routine that you take?
Well, the routine was literally, we'd do the show. After the show, we had to pack up everything and then drive 5-6 hours to the next country or next city and offload, set up everything on stage.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had one person helping us, which was a driver and the merch guy.
It's good.
And it was that for non-stop. We literally had no days.
So you had worked for 1 month.
Yes.
Basically, with no days off.
No stuff.
But at least you were doing something that you love, like.
Oh yes, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's the main thing.
Exactly.
Okay. I am a bit of an ignorant when we're talking about musical instruments. I know that double bass is the massive giant thing that you carry around. Yes, you can. Right?
If we go through family of the double bass, you got the violin, the cello, and then you got the double bass, and obviously you have others, but they are not the standard size of that. But that's the 3 main ones, and I play the big one.
You play the massive one,
yes, the massive one. Yes.
It's quite cool because you don't see that a lot in bands, right? You normally see like a normal bass player.
Yes, it's true. Yeah,
the double bass, I've never seen it. I don't know. Maybe people have seen it or not. Do you know any other bands that have that?
Yes. In my world, it's a common instrument for my kind of music. Yes, of course.
Which is
I play rock and roll.
So
I play rock and roll, but yes, I do play jazz. I can play swing. I can play more classical stuff. I mean, classical, not to the extent of classical music with a bow. Yeah. More orchestral. No, I'm not trained for that kind of music.
I know what you mean by classical, as in like the
Yes,
rock and roll classic.
rock and roll
Yeah,
classic.
yeah.
Yes. And worked with 24 years, nearly 24 years. I've been doing it.
Yeah,
So
that's sick.
why.
So what's the main difference between a normal bass and the double bass? What does double bass mean? Do you have double the chords or?
No, it's literally. Well, personally, it's a little bit like acoustic guitar and electric guitar. This is probably the best description I can say. And obviously the playability is different, and the accuracy is different. The sound is different as well. You get the same sound, but it's not the same because one is electric, one is acoustic.
Right.
So that's how it works, obviously.
And in that spectrum, is the instrument that you play plugged in electric, or is it?
Yes, I can electrify it. Yes.
Right.
I can put it's a pickup usually.
Right.
What we use that will pick the vibrations of the sound.
I'm
that goes
totally ignorant, so I don't know
Sure,
what
sure.
you're talking about, like,
I can explain.
that's why I'm asking, because
explain,
I'm
yeah.
curious of how things work.
Yes,
like,
yeah. You can amplify the instrument
Right.
from a basic thing such as a microphone. You can amplify that. That's the basic. If the environment is okay, you can use a microphone.
Right.
As you know, a microphone will pick up the other instruments. So obviously,
Yeah.
okay. But you will have methods that you can electrify the
vibration,
the vibrations.
Right.
Yes, of course.
And does it make a different sound when you electrify these vibrations?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Yes,
Which one do you prefer?
Well, it depends on what kind of music I'm playing. For example, I do busking. Busking, for people that don't know, busking is street performing.
Right.
It's the term for when you play music in the street.
Right.
I like to play acoustic in the street, and it gives the instrument it's real. It's more real. It's a different feel. If you play for an audience in a closed environment, I do prefer electrified. Because it's different. It doesn't expand. There's this expansion that you don't have in a closed environment. So it's preferable to be electrified.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know this stuff.
Yeah, it's acoustics. It's down to how the instrument behaves on the environment that you are.
Yeah.
Literally.
That does not apply for drums, obviously, right?
No, not really, because drums are drums.
Yeah,
They're
you
just
put
loud.
the microphone there and they just like
and just
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
You actually you do electrify the drums with microphones, and you do have independent microphones for full drum kits.
Right.
There's a lot of people that think, oh, it's just one mic. No. Every
right?
cymbal, yes, every cymbal, the bass drum, everything has an independent microphone. And that's how it works, because you get the different frequencies independently from the instrument.
It must be a nightmare to synchronize every microphone to the speaker, and
if
just
you
with
do
these two, when I was first doing that, I was like, "This is a nightmare," and now you're telling me that every single. Oh my god!
Usually it's like eight microphones.
Yeah.
For a drum kit, so that's.
Do you connect them to like a computer or
any
program?
Yes, obviously you have an audio interface, as we spoke before
the
A1. Interview.
Yeah.
So you can use the channels of audio interface, and you can connect all the microphones independently, and then you can mix them through a program on your computer.
Would you guys use as an audio interface for, not the audio interface?
You mean live?
Yeah.
Live. So it depends on the desk. It depends. Usually it's a desk, you know, and then we can use Pro Tools, we can use Logic for mixing and mastering. But it's
because it's live, right? It's not like you record and then you can listen. It has to be live.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But usually we don't mic our drums. We what we do is, obviously there's some parts of the sound that we do, but there are others that we don't. Is literally the drums is down to the sound engineer of the house.
Yeah.
So if you are the main sound engineer that makes the sound for your venue, you are the one who's looking after how to put all the mics set up for the drums. The same for the amps. The same for the guitars. Everything.
So that the sound
also,
is
yes, and also the backline for the musicians.
Yeah.
that you're on stage, you need to listen to yourself. You need to hear
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
So that's how he balances. You got the room sound and you have the stage sound. So it's all down to the sound engineer.
That's sick.
Yeah, it
That
is.
is, there is a lot of detail behind
It's a
that,
lot.
right?
A lot.
How did this passion start? Do you wanna tell me about that?
Well, I since little, I always loved music.
Hmm.
Music always been, and my family is very music orientated. So it's like you have uncles, cousins, everyone has the passion of music, and you're a kid, you go with it.
Yeah.
And literally, also, I had an uncle. Well, I have an uncle, which was a radio DJ.
Right.
And I grew up with listening to the best, like it's from Pink Floyd to Queen to Supertramp to Scorpions, the
Yeah.
classics,
Like
Guns
the
N'
anthems.
Roses.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this from 80s, 90s. And obviously, you're young, you listen to what's on the radio. You don't have a preference on music. You listen to what people tell you to listen to.
Yeah.
And then obviously, when you start growing up, you're a teenager. You're like, oh, I like a style. I want something. I want to be part of something. And obviously, my first music style, which I joined in, was grunge, which was
Right.
Nirvana. That 90s.
Yeah.
Every teenager in that time, they were into that.
Yeah.
And obviously, I had long hair.
I
Kurt
cannot imagine
Cobain,
you with long
Nirvana.
hair.
Yeah, of course. But then you think, okay, that's cool. You're following a band, you're following this, but then you pass the stage of the teenage, and then you want to be something else, and you want something more, or you go mainstream, or you go different, which is the underground. And I was exposed to the underground very, very early as well. So listen to grunge at the age of 13. By 15, I wanted to do rock and roll.
Yeah, of course.
But rock and roll, the mainstream, and the underground, because it was cool. Because it was a small group, and it was clashing.
Yeah.
It would clash with everyone.
It's underground.
It's
That's
underground.
The word says
Very
it all,
dangerous. Very dangerous, because I come from Portugal, and Portugal, back in those days, was still very conservative. How you look.
Right.
So if you're part of grunge, it was acceptable because you see grunge on TV, you see on the radio. But if you going to the point of showing a style which is different, and
Yeah.
people, Portugal, like I said, still very conservative. They will think the worst of you, So it was kind of it's still a very taboo thing, to be part of something that people didn't know.
I know
And
what you
they
mean.
will look into you in the wrong way, which
Yeah.
I mean, that guy has a punk Mohican or a flat top or
Yeah.
something. Oh, he's a junkie.
Yeah.
Or even worse.
Not even that, just the way you dressed.
Yes, exactly. So it was very, very hard. And I was battling between looking good for my family, because I respect my family, and my family has a good name, and I always try to give that to the family. But I wanted to be independent, but it was so hard because, I don't want to look like this, but I want to look like this. I
Yeah.
want to be different. I want to be a rebel, and I did, and I always did. And
But with
and
respect.
with
Yeah.
respect, and my family always did. But when you're young, they try to tell you what you need to do, and they think, he's a kid, he doesn't know what he wants. It's just a phase.
Yeah.
It's just a phase. And I'm 43 years old, and the
you're still
phase
in the phase.
never went. It's still here. And my family, we talk about this all the time. We
Yeah,
joke,
sure.
we laugh, and they know we don't have to worry.
Do they come to see you play sometimes if they can?
I had a couple of cousins that came over to UK to see me play, and I still gig a couple of times in Portugal
Right.
with
wanna
my
come-
Portuguese band. Yeah,
I want to come see you guys, the brains
sure,
still as well.
sure. You're gonna love it, man.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
100%. I saw the videos and
Yeah, it's a great show.
it looks fun. It looks really fun. But yeah, that's sick. That is sick. I love this stuff. I love music as well. I'm into rock and roll spectrum. I'm more of a heavy metal 70s
Of course,
fan.
of course.
I told you about Iron Maiden, and that's
course.
my kind of. It just gives me good vibes.
course,
But put Scorpions, I love it. If you put Guns N' Roses, a little bit less, but I still
Mhm.
listen to it. I'm not gonna be like, oh no, take that shit out. I'm not gonna. I'm never gonna say that. But yeah, music is just a
Exactly.
way of life, right?
Yeah,
You
exactly. Yeah.
just I
That's
feel
how I feel it. That's how
yeah
I I shape my life around music.
yeah.
If I have no music, for me, is depression. It's like it is. I can't live without music
Do you listen to music as well all the time?
all the
Yeah.
time, all
What do
the
you
time.
listen to normally? What's your favorite band, for example?
Um, it's very hard to say what's my favorite band. It's I can tell you a little bit of history about my. Again, it's down to when you're young to
Yeah,
till now.
I see what you mean.
You grow up, listen to what the radio offers you, then you will try to identify that sound that really triggers your brain.
Yeah, that's what I was
and
trying to
and, and
say.
grunge was what triggered me. And then you starting to go for more what actually your ideals. See,
Mm.
music for me is down to ideals, which I'm not going into this because my ideals are completely
No, let's
basic. I've not no really. I'm a worker. I go to work. I
yeah,
don't follow anything that is.
that's what we're here for.
Sure, sure, sure.
That's the point of me
Yeah,
doing this. I want to hear
yeah.
about people's opinions, people's stories.
Sure, sure, sure.
Why are you you? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
What is your ideal? Why did you grow up like
Every,
that? So you can talk. If you don't
of
want to,
course.
it's fine. But don't
But
worry
all my
about.
music was more about personality. It was
Mm.
more about I don't care about politics or any other things.
Mm.
That for me it's distractions.
Yeah.
It's all distractions. What makes me moving is music, and obviously, as I told you, I was in underground, and underground sometimes don't pay the bills. So obviously you have to get a job. So
Yeah.
that's why I do have a job
Yeah.
as normal.
Sure.
But like I would say, shaping your personality towards the years is you have that what shapes you, which got to the point is like, oh, okay, I like that style, I like those shoes, I like that jacket, I think the girls are gonna like this. I want to show this. I want to be a good musician. I want to do that. So you go from heavy, and then now I'm 43 years old. Yeah, I can listen to, I don't know, jazz. I can listen
Yeah.
to something very mellow. I can listen to, something that is not my music.
Yeah.
I do listen to a lot of ethnic music, a lot of folklore. I do listen to, and that's another thing that actually helped me a lot in on my instrument is you learn about the instrument through bands that you like, when you're really young. I was like, oh, I like that instrument. I want to play it. Oh, like that guy. So you see, it's the visual. But you don't care about technique. You don't care about how you play it. You just want to try to do exactly the same.
Mm.
And then obviously you see a lot of things slowly. Oh, okay. He uses these strings. He uses this kind of bass. He uses this kind of amp. So this little thing starting to go until the point that you know everything.
Yeah.
But then you go, I don't want to sound like everybody else.
Sure.
What am I going to get? What can I put in that people will look, wow, this guy can play the bass in a different way.
Yeah.
So I developed the taste or the liking of, let me hear some style which I can grab some technique and put it into my music. So I started listening to a lot of Balkan music, a lot of Romanian folk, a lot of stuff that is they can do. I can do exactly the same. They have a very different technique, but
Fast tempo,
fast
right?
tempo, super crazy, super mad. The way they shape the notes. What notes? There's not even notes in there. It's just like sound. Exactly.
Going like
But it's the
crazy.
fast, and then try to put that into my rock and roll, and then people go like, "Wow, this guy, wow, is good." Yeah, that's what I do. I try to grab something, so I'm always listening to music that is not from my scene
Yeah.
to try to grab some idea to put it into my scene.
That's very clever.
This is how I do because I want to do something different.
Yeah.
I'm not interested because the scenes. There's only so much you can learn,
Mm-hmm.
but you can always bring something new to it. And obviously, I have all the time people contacting me. Oh, Bruno, I need this. I need to know this. How you do this? I am an open book with that. I have no problems because I was there before.
Sure.
I'm from the time that I had no mobile phone with internet. I
You
had to go to a library to access the internet to check bands and names, and then
Yeah.
try to get this information from everywhere. And that's why it was hard to get information at the time.
Yeah.
So I fought for my information. I fought to get to know all these things.
That is cool.
And it comes to the point that it gets to a time that I had to leave Portugal.
That's part of the conversation that
Exactly.
we're gonna
So
have
that's
anyway.
going to
So
be the next step.
let's just carry on then.
Well,
Yeah.
it's literally that was it. That was I was obviously I was studying. All my bandmates were studying.
Sorry, you said bandmate.
Yes, I also
Bandmates.
had a band
Okay.
from Portugal.
Sorry, I
in
just
Portugal.
didn't hear you very well.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Yeah.
I still have a band in Portugal.
Yeah, you play with them
But,
often. Well, often as
not,
much as you
not
can.
as
or-
not as much as I used to, because like I said, everyone got married. Everyone has their life. Everybody start other bands. So it's different goals. They had different goals, and obviously I wanted to be part of my scene, of my music where I play now, and in Portugal, it didn't. It got stuck. It was a bit of a boredom. There was a boredom in there. You be in a loop. It's
Right.
always the same. You're always in the same place. There was not much of an exit. So I was curious. I want to see my artists. I want to see the bands I like.
Is that why you came to the UK?
That was the main reason.
All right. Yeah, the UK
Exactly.
is a place of
But
rock
the
and
best
roll
thing
and,
about it is, my mindset was, I'm ready to leave Portugal. Yes, of course I miss my family.
Sure.
Yes, of course I miss my friends. Yes, it was easy / hard, because obviously you come to a country, you expect that is not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Of course, everything is different. So
What did you expect? What was your train of thought?
I thought it was way more rock and roll than was advertised. So obviously it's not as easy in that sense unless you are in the right time in the right place.
Right. Let's just linger on this so that I understand.
Sure.
First of all, what year did you come here? When did you come here to
Right.
UK?
I came in 2005.
2005.
22nd of September 2005.
You remember the day as well.
I
That's
did.
amazing. 2005. That's 10 years ago. 20 years ago. Sorry.
20 years ago.
20 years ago. Yeah, it must have been very different from how the UK is now anyway, right? And you would have been 20,
I was 23.
23.
I was 23.
Yeah, I can imagine. Because obviously the UK is a place of rock and roll. The Queen, Pagan Altar, one of my favorite bands as well.
Exactly.
But many different rock and roll / metal / rock spectrum. So I understand what you mean. Like you came here with a thought
Yes.
of,
So I already had that in mind. I already knew what I wanted.
yeah,
And I was, if I'm staying in Portugal, I don't think I'm gonna make it.
yeah, it's not the same.
It's not the same. And obviously, you have the family, so it's the family always expects something more from you. You have to, again, back to the family thing, is you have to listen to them. You have to do what they want.
Yeah,
So I wanted a little bit independence. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to be on my own, which I always been. Most of the time I was on my own.
did they want you to have to be married by 25 or
No,
have kids or
but
stuff
I
like
will
that?
get to that as well, because
uh-huh.
there's some parts in my
Sure.
life that it was very close to that.
Sure.
But the music was always there. That's why I prevail when it comes to music.
Sure.
So I had the idea already. It's like I really want to go and I want to meet people. My luck was I had family in Swindon, so I had a cousin living in Swindon,
Right.
which, fair play, he was a great guy, and he actually invited me. He said, Bruno, what about if you move to England? Because I was literally, I finished my studies, I started working in a small warehouse, and in between I was traveling. I done a couple of not shows. I went for a festival in Spain, and that really clicked. Meeting people from all around the world. in a festival of my music, and it was like, what am I doing in Portugal? It doesn't sound right. I need to get out. And my ticket was literally my cousin, and fair play, and I thank to him, and
Is he still here?
no, he moved. He recently moved to Portugal. He
Right,
went
back
back.
again.
Yeah, he went back. So, but he was here for 20
Yeah.
odd years as well, and he quit. And then from there it was like, yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go, and I did it, and I moved to Swindon. So when we talking about England, it's a rock and roll. You think all England,
Yeah.
but not Swindon.
Maybe London.
Yes, yes, of
Yeah.
course. Now, of course, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, Swindon was great. 2005 was completely different. The town was completely different.
Was it?
Oh yes, completely different. You
In-
don't imagine. I don't remember seeing any shop in town center closed.
Yeah, now they are. Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Was it better? So you're saying that it was better before?
Oh yes,
than now?
absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It was better in all aspects. It was crime rate was very low.
Yeah.
Everybody was friendly to everyone.
Mhm.
Everyone was, and don't take me wrong, I never had any issues in Swindon. I still like Swindon
Yeah.
to live, to have a good, but to live literally
Yeah.
and to work. I can't complain. It's just a bit
Dead.
dead.
Right.
Yes, very dead.
It's a shame.
not. Yeah, it's a
Because yeah,
shame.
it's got like nice parks.
Yes.
It's got a nice little town center. If it wasn't for, you know what I mean, for people who know they know. It's a shame. I never understood why it's like that.
neither.
Because it's.
But there was, see, again, from 20 years, I see things going, the progress of Swindon. I've seen it, 2008, there was a recession, and then again, after a few years, there's some issues with Honda. Honda was the main
yes.
thing. Honda was the main thing. And
I did
actually,
see that.
what happened in Swindon is Honda left and took a lot of businesses, took a lot of people. And obviously, investments in Swindon nowadays are really small. You still have industry, don't take me wrong. If I go tomorrow to an agency, I can find a job.
Sure.
I have no problems with that.
Sure.
And since day one, I've been in UK, I've been working.
That's the main
And I
thing.
went from not many, never had many jobs in Swindon. I always stayed long in jobs. But I know for the fact, if I'm going tomorrow to an agency, I'll get a job.
Yeah.
So I can't complain about the aspects of work or infrastructures. For some people it's different. Like I said, I'm a single guy. I have no kids. I have not many attachments, so
Yeah.
I'm quite easy to move about.
Yeah.
But
It
if
would've
you're a
been
family
different.
person, yes,
Yeah.
of course. If you're a family person, it's completely different.
Sure. But I think that's the same everywhere, right?
Of course,
Like even you can go to London and it would be the same.
it will be the same.
They might pay you more because it's a London wage, but then you have to pay an
Yes,
incredible amount
yes,
of
yes,
rent, and
Yes,
so it comes back to the same
yes.
thing.
I did consider at some point going to London.
Yeah.
It's too expensive, and I don't like big cities. I'm going to be
Mm.
honest with you. I come from a small town attached to a big city in Portugal,
Yeah.
which fairly wasn't busy, a little bit busy.
What's the name of the town? You did tell me. Let me try to see if I remember. It is. It ends with Nova.
That's the town. It's called Condeixa
foundation.
Anova.
And you.
From the district of Coimbra is the city, which is not far from Condeixa.
Yeah, it's like about 20 minutes car, right?
Something like
I
that,
did
yeah.
did some research. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember too much about it now though. I've got a bit of a brain fog. I will remember some things though, and I might ask you some questions. But yeah, I just wanted to ask, because you said you were thinking about going to London, and in the music industry, I would have thought that you would actually maybe try to go to London. I don't know.
I did try, but how can I explain? I was spending I would say between 2013 to 2016, I was every single weekend in London.
All right.
Yes, I would spend most of my time in the Camden Market. You know the Camden Market?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And I used to busk a lot.
Right.
I used to busk a lot. Busking, street music.
Yeah.
Street music, a lot. And money was insane.
Was it?
Insane, yeah. That what really was the problem was Camden at the time was going through this transformation of I think the councils start selling these markets and turning them into a very like organized, companies will take over and it will become everything became like a shopping mall, if you
Right.
understand what I mean. I'm talking about markets that they're like street markets,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah,
But
yeah.
then they use the trademark or they use the marketing of the market and then they transform it into something else. If you go now to Camden, it looks like it's a market, but it lost the soul. It doesn't have no soul.
Hmm.
It's very cooperative. If you understand what I mean, it's like you see that there's a chain of companies that took over and it made it look good.
I see what you
You
mean.
see what I mean?
I've never been to Catman. Maybe the way you were talking
Yeah,
about with the soul, I've only been a couple of times,
yeah, sure.
and my experience there is that you go there and they're shops. To me, they look like normal shops. Like,
Before was different. You
yeah,
see this. It was it's normal shops, but it was so underground. It was very come on, all the punks
yeah,
were in Camden.
yeah,
Camden is known for the punks, is known for the nightlife, is known for that kind of for scenes,
right.
icons that were created and they would used to go and wandering in Camden Town. So that's why it's a very famous market,
And now it's not like that anymore, in your
No,
opinion.
it's very, like I said, too much business. It's too
Mm.
many people. Like I said, companies go there and they reshape that place
Mm.
to a shopping kind of center thing. Very everything is like clean. If you understand,
I
it's
know what you
very
mean.
clean. It's very
Yeah.
it's a shame really because it lost the it lost the soul. It lost the it's just not the same anymore.
The big companies are just taking over
Yeah,
everything.
of course,
I've
that's how it
just
is.
I've just read this morning that major multi-billionaire companies here in the UK. I'm not gonna name any of them, but they're buying like houses, a lot of houses, so that they can resell them basically, and it's not good for us normal people because we're gonna end up paying more. It's already a struggle to buy a house anyway, but what I'm trying to say is that it's going to that point where there's the minority. It's been like that forever,
Hmm.
but right now you can feel it. Like the minority is just over the majority, which is the few multi-billionaire people are just have got control of everything, right?
That's
And
economics. That's how the world is running.
yes,
That's the rich will be rich, the poor will be
yeah,
poor.
sure,
And there's always someone that will try to prevail when it comes to going through and try to get into that market. That's it's complicated because I personally I follow the news, but I don't really follow it, if you
no,
understand what I mean, because I again it's distractions
yeah,
and for me it's distractions that they are not productive for me. Obviously, like I said, my life is so it's not basic, but it's like I know what I want. So if that is not gonna um if I'm not gonna have any impact or is not gonna have any impact in me on me, I don't really care. I
mm,
know that okay, I need to wake up in the morning, go to work, I make my money, the money I need. I need food. I go buy food. Okay. Oh, the prices are up. Oh, the prices are down. I said, okay, let's see if I can manage this. Okay. Now that shop is expensive. Let's go to another one. Let's see what deals I can get. So a person needs to be also smart. If you have the ambition of wanting to make money because you want to make money, yes, okay, you can work for it. You can, in a legal way, work for it. Work for it. If you can make it, you make it. If you complain, if a person is like have enough money to pay the rent, you have enough money to pay your food, you have enough money to do your life things, um, but still a person complains about the money, the money, money. I don't understand the point of that. That's why for me, I do enough money to pay my things, to pay my bills, and I can support my music, and obviously the hard work I do is more in the bands
yeah,
because obviously I can get some money coming in from the bands, and that's why how I juggled. Yes, I know the world is struggling. I
hmm,
know there's a lot of social issues, and I know that, but I don't want to sound cold.
No, no,
but it's something that I can't change.
sure.
I know there's a lot of people with a much more high intellect that can actually go through that stage of, oh, I want to be a politician. I want to be a human rights activist. I want to be um, a social person that will look after this, and we want to take care and change. I'm not going to change anything. I
Yeah,
hope that my music does. My music is being heard, and we'll go, oh, okay, this is something that will probably change something.
yeah,
But in the meantime, it doesn't. It goes through me because don't forget we have media, and the media is so powerful these days.
yeah,
There is a lot of facts. There's a lot of things is true. There's a lot of stuff is not true. So you just have to follow what is good for you and what's not good for you. You just have to see what you have to level yourself.
yeah.
This is the way I see it these days.
You're not wrong at all. It's just that I just travel with my mind sometimes,
Sure,
and I
sure,
just
sure, sure.
I just think, oh, I just think a lot, and then I just find myself at the same point that you said just a moment ago. Can I do something about it? Not really. I mean, yeah, tiny little bit. Like,
It's another thing that is the conflicts between people these days is the you can't change, I can't change, but we will have an argument about it, and we'll be pissed off between each other, and we will cause an argument, and we'll cause about something or values that we can't change.
yeah,
And I'm gonna say, oh, you're wrong, and you're gonna tell me I'm wrong, but then in the end it's like, okay, I have to respect you, but in the end you're not. You're going home and you go like, oh, I don't like that guy. That guy has different values. Blah, blah, blah. That's why for me it's hard to understand these days why people are so focused in issues that they can't change.
yeah,
You can have a chat, you can have a conversation about it, and obviously, yeah, but when people argue over something that they can't change, it's just
it's stupid.
it's stupid. It's
Yeah,
absurd. It's absurd these days.
I
That's the problem. And obviously, because everything is media, everything is commenting, commenting,
yeah,
commenting, commenting. Nowadays, it's comments and reviews. That's the two things you get these days:
that's true.
comments and reviews. That's how the world runs,
Yeah,
you know. And then what's real and what's not real. And then what's not real causes a big commotion, and you have a population of people that read something that think is real, but it's not real.
yeah,
And this is the thing that obviously I don't guide myself with this. I don't follow these things. I follow what I need to do. I follow what is. It's all distractions,
yeah.
and I try to clear all these distractions, you know, and follow what I need to do.
I might take on these idea. I think.
This is how I see it. For past 15 years,
Yeah.
because you see the things. How what's the patterns?
What do you think is gonna? How do you think it's gonna be in 30 years time?
I can't predict. We are so it's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
It's predictable, but it's unpredictable because, like I said, it's a mixture of the humanity being human,
Yeah.
and there's the resources they have. Now it's down to the humanity to go. Shall I follow this path, which caused a massive destruction, or should I follow this path that will help everyone and
Yeah.
everybody will be happy?
What I found.
This is how I see it.
Yeah. No, you're right. What I found though from the videos that come up on my feed is that people, those videos where people challenge other people with an argument or of some sort, and they have facts, and then the interviewee, they have like a thought, right? And they're trying to explain, look, I understand your thought is this, right? But I have the facts that contradict that thought. And they're like, no, but I think it's like that. Yeah, I understand, but I have this fact that says that it's not like you're saying. And for some reason, they just turn away and go. It's hard to accept that, the fact that you think of might not be real or anything, but it's
the world. It's how it is. Like I said, I'm not. I see everything. And I don't want to be the kind of guy that I'm gonna shut off and not follow social media. So I need social
Sure.
media. I follow social media.
Sure.
I'm a musician. I'm an entertainer. I've do my shows through media.
Yeah.
My name or the music I produce needs social media.
But you're using it in a different way,
Of
rather
course.
than spreading false information or
Yes,
hate.
because
or
I'm
any,
not
you
interested in that.
Yeah, you just
I'm not
share
interested in that, of course.
your work,
Of course,
your
of course,
personality,
of course.
whatever. You don't care about
Of course.
other things.
No,
Yeah. So
it doesn't accomplish. I don't accomplish nothing following something that don't give me any.
yeah,
You know, you understand what I mean?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just doesn't. I don't
It's
get
a-
fulfillment.
it's a false. It's a false sense of. It's a false sense of dopamine that you get. Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, you get like 1,000 likes, 1,000 comment, people commenting the fire flames, or
Yes,
you
yes,
know,
of course.
and it's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
false sense
yeah.
of dopamine.
Yes,
'Cause
yeah,
you
exactly.
see that, yeah, it feels good. Oh, a lot of
Exactly.
people like it, a lot of
Exactly.
people, but it's not real. Like,
No, it's not real.
You know what
But
I mean?
it's funny though, because I acknowledge a lot of people that follow my music,
Mm.
and I do know a lot of people through music, and it's amazing when you go to Germany and you meet 20 people, 30 people that you met online, and then you go and you actually meet them in person. It's amazing.
It's
So
different though, right?
it's
When
it's
people
yes,
face to face, they're
yes,
like,
yes,
Bruno,
yes,
your music is amazing.
yes.
I love the way
It's amazing
it's
how it works.
different than a like, right?
Of course, but the acknowledgement is like, okay, you know who likes you and you know who doesn't, which is it's important. Listen, I must admit I am a little bit egocentric.
Yeah.
I'm not eccentric, but I am a little bit egocentric, and I'm very egocentric when it comes to my music and my personality in terms of music.
Sure.
Obviously, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm the best, I'm a rock star. No, I'm very humble when it comes to my music, and if a person wants to know anything about music and wants to contact me, I have it all the time. I have messages of people asking me about the music, how, even small interviews. Oh, can you write something about it? Can you do something about it? I said, yeah, of course, with pleasure, because I'm making music for everyone. I'm
That's
not
great.
making. If I want to make music for myself, yeah, I stay in my living room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how it works.
Yeah.
But it's phenomenal to like I said, I just came from tour, and you don't imagine how many people I've met in person, which I know there are on my social media
That is
pages,
great.
and they come over. Obviously, sometimes it is like, oh, do I know you? Do I know? Oh, yeah, I'm whatever, Joseph from Valencia. I follow your band for like 15 years. Oh, great, man. Oh, glad you like. I got all your albums. Oh, I got this. Oh, can you sign me this? Can you do this? That is amazing, because
That is great.
it's the point that you drop the mic, boom, my job is done.
Yeah.
And this is what I focus myself, is I shape myself to the point of what can I do better for my music? What can I do better to show people, what I do?
Yeah.
This is what I focus most. But Matt, I acknowledge the world. I acknowledge the politics. I acknowledge the issues. In music, there's issues. I can't get to America because there is issues with America when it comes to visas, to work visas. My guitarist is Canadian. It's also hard to get through Canada, to get all these little documents. Before it was way easier.
Can
But
you not play in USA then?
well, we can, but we need to go through a lot of bureaucracy. And to be honest, I don't really want to do it. I mean, not yet. We will eventually get to the States. But we preparing, like we have Canada, a tour for Canada. We have a tour for South America
This year,
as
right?
well. Hopefully, yes. Well, Canada is now being booked, and we're in talks with South America.
Can you give an insight or not yet? Or...
Well, we have one show booked for Vancouver on the 18th September. I don't want to lie to you because I don't remember.
No,
but
it's
it's online already.
If you have the link, maybe I can put the link in the description for people.
Sure. Yeah, so the tour will start around that time.
Sure.
So we booked one show. We're in talks with Chile, we're in talks with Colombia, we're in talks with possibly Argentina. We got Brazil as well. So we'll see. It's all down to logistics, because we talk about expensive flights.
Sure.
And obviously we need to see what are the requirements for South America. Obviously, we have one Canadian, one Spanish, and one Portuguese. What's going to happen? How are we going to get all of us there, and plus the gear?
That's what I was going to say. Do you have to take all the gear as well? Or can you not rent, or I don't know?
That would be probably ideal, yeah, if we could rent or
Right.
buy our instruments in there, Obviously, it's money. It's not the
Yeah.
money. Like for example, in Europe, it was easy because we got a van. I can fly with my base. You know, hardly, but yeah, it's
Aren't you afraid of leaving the base on a plane?
not a problem.
No.
No, 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 no. I got 4 bases.
All right.
So, and one of them is the traveling base, which is a
Right.
very cheap base, which does the job. And obviously, if it gets broken, okay, I'll be gutted because then I have to carry it back home broken, and I probably have to dispose of it,
Yeah.
and I don't want to do that. But in the meantime, yeah, it's a base that I can travel with it, and our friends, uh, luggage handlers, which I love them. Just for the record, I love the guys that deal with the luggage in the airports.
They do an amazing
If
job.
you guys are listening to this, please,
Treat
consider
the
that.
base
Please
with
don't
respect.
don't break the base. Just follow that sticker, say fragile.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, we're still planning. Like I said, every tour it requires a lot of planning.
Sure.
It requires
I'm,
to see all the legal stuff. We can't miss anything. See, for example, for the UK, we had to get visas.
Oh yeah, because of the Canadian guy. And
See,
yeah,
that's the
sure.
thing, and even the Spanish.
Mm.
My drummer is from Barcelona, and we had to get a work visa
Yeah, because of
for him.
the Brexit
Of
stuff.
course,
Yeah.
of course. So, and that was money, and obviously we had to get a sponsorship.
Mm.
See, which actually it was hard, but it wasn't because we had good people working with us, good promoters from the UK, and they actually gave us some guides. Like, oh, this person is the person who does that. It's going to cost this. It's going to cost that. And crossing the channel, with the Eurotunnels, and put all the documents because we were driving a vehicle from Spain.
Yeah.
So all these things, and we talk about UK and we talk about Europe. So imagine what is going to South America
yeah.
or even Canada, or the United States.
But hopefully you guys can do it because it's a great experience.
It will
isn't
be done.
Yeah.
It will be done.
It's a
100%.
Great experience.
100%.
I just can imagine like you guys in the van just driving and
Yeah.
I don't know, just vibing. Obviously tired as fuck.
Yes.
You're gonna be tired.
Yes.
So I don't know. How is the vibe in the van? Do you guys talk? Or is everyone like on their own? Just
It
taking
depends. We had ups and downs.
Yeah.
We all sorts of ups and downs. It's like like I said, it's like if it's really a very hard show. Okay, you had 3 floors. You had to carry all the gear upstairs, and you have to then load in, load out, and people are exhausted. We just like quiet, listen to ABBA. Yeah, that was just like the mood going, ABBA and some like Cuban music or some Latin music, just And other days would be like, okay, we had maybe a couple of drinks, and people were in the van. By the way, the driver didn't drink.
Of course.
So, okay. Just to say, we are quite responsible when it comes. We are rock and rollers, but we do have our sense of responsibility.
Sure. That's
And
great to hear.
that is true.
Yeah. No.
That is the truth. And then people is just was just mad, just crazy in the van and listen to odd music, and then and have a good time.
Yeah. That's great. That's great.
No, it works. It works well.
That's great life. That's how to live life.
Yes, of course. Like I said, you have to make your life like that. You need to enjoy yourself. If you have an opportunity, just go for it. Just like I said, but always, I'm a very calculus person. I can see, I have to see things like I am here, but I don't want to think that I'm here. I'm going to think where I am. I'm there. This is what I want to think. Don't think where you are. Think where you're going to be. This is what I like to think.
At least you step in that direction already.
Of course, but always have a plan A, plan B.
Sure.
If something goes wrong, you can always come back to it. This is the thing that a lot of people make the mistake of, like just jump in without. Oh, if that goes wrong, I can't go back.
Yeah.
Always have a plan A, plan B. This is how my life always been for the last actually 20 years.
Yeah.
Always been calculus about everything.
What would the plan be? What would the plan B be if the music didn't work?
Oh, I will carry on working in the warehouse.
Just working.
Yes, of course,
Okay.
100%. And obviously, I would make more out of it.
Sure.
Okay, I go to a warehouse. Instead of being just a normal warehouse operative, maybe I would decide to become something higher. Maybe I wanted to be some more management. Maybe I
Mm.
want to do something, in that field, more clerical. I mean, something more when it comes to administration or something.
Yeah. Is that
Um,
what uh, I don't care about the degree, the school degree, but what do you, if you weren't a musician, what did you want to be? Or did you just have the
right.
musician?
So that goes back to, yes, that goes back to before.
Yeah,
So,
when you're a kid, you think about this
so
stuff, right?
obviously when I was a kid, and I always been into arts.
Mm.
This is another thing. I always been, in a family where everyone is like, oh, one is going to be a dentist, one is going to be a lawyer, one is going to be, you will always have the artist.
Yeah.
Okay?
So
You
you like
always
art?
have. So my was art and music.
Do you like this picture?
Yeah, it's nice. You done it?
No,
It's nice.
not a lot of people
Yeah.
like it. They think
But
it's
this,
weird.
no, it's not weird, and I know how it was made.
I don't know. The colors and
This was made with a lot of splashing, which is like
Mm.
stuff that is like dropped in.
yeah.
Obviously, the main painting was there, and then they splashed paint on
Yeah.
top of it.
I just loved it as soon as I
It's
saw
nice.
it. Like,
It's
yeah.
nice.
So did you paint? Did you? Or
Yes,
did
I was
you
drawing all the
drawing?
time,
Yeah.
and I was a tattoo artist for a bit as well. I'd done some tattoo artists.
Oh, have you got any tattoo
Uh,
on you that you've done to yourself?
Yes,
Oh no,
here, but I
Okay,
can't show
you
you
can't
because
show it,
it's here.
it's okay. Is it a good one or is
It's
it?
okay. It's a traditional old school tattooing,
Right.
like Sailor Jerry kind of thing.
Sure.
Nothing
Makes sense.
special. Back in the day was big thing. So
Yeah.
and still now is a big thing these days with
I love
tattooing.
traditional.
Yeah, it's nice.
Like
Yeah, of course.
the
Yes.
neo traditional
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
I know what you mean.
But I have a lot of tattoos, but
Mm.
I don't show them much. But yeah, I have a lot.
Yeah,
of
I
stuff,
have a
yeah.
few as well, like here.
Exactly,
here
exactly,
and there.
exactly.
Just this one you can see, but
Exactly.
yeah, I've got more.
But
as
I'm
well.
glad I
Yeah.
haven't done my arms yet. I want to do a full piece. I want to do piece, but I don't know what I want. I mean, I know what I want, but it's just time and money, and
Yeah.
I'm lazy.
Sure.
I'm lazy to get a tattoo. Can
yeah,
I believe
yeah,
that?
Yeah.
It's just got to the point that I'm lazy to get a tattoo.
When it comes, it comes.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you got any tattoo related to music?
Oh yes, I got a band logo on my
okay.
leg, and obviously I got me bass playing here.
Yeah.
There's something to do with that. All the back is done with horror references with music
Really?
as well. Yeah, yeah.
Like what do you mean by horror references?
Big double bass, very good looking girl holding the bass, and a lot of monsters and zombies all around. And, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the logos that you use for your albums, right?
Yes,
Like
it's the
something
genre.
like that.
It's
a
the
genre,
art.
right?
Yes, it's the artwork that is the
Yeah.
genre of my music.
Yeah.
It's like evil rock and roll. And,
Sure.
dark rock and roll.
Like
and,
skulls, like
zombies
dripping
and
now, yeah,
monsters
yeah.
and all that crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
No, it's
But,
cool.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
cool stuff. I love
Yeah,
this
exactly.
stuff.
It
It's
goes
not
with it.
exactly my genre,
Mhm.
but I'd love to see it. Right? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So, tell me more about the art thing that you were talking about.
Yeah, so the art was okay, and again, it goes back to you have a family, and the family wants you to do something that they want,
Mm-hmm.
but they in the end they want to choose something that you're going to be happy also with, And at the time, it was obviously there was the arts, but arts were more of private school kind of thing, and it was quite expensive at the time, to follow that. So obviously, my mom being single and obviously looking after me and my brother. I have a brother, and obviously my family was always around. And I don't come from a rich family. I come from a normal, working family. Grandparents, farmers. Everybody has their own normal job.
Sure.
So I never had problems with. I mean, I always. How can I explain this? My background is not a poor background, but it's not a rich background. It's
Middle
it's
class.
Middle class.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So obviously, I had a bit of conscience, and I was like, okay, I want arts, but this costs money, and obviously, it's going to be a bit of a pressure financially for my mom. So at the time, and this is the funny thing, I don't know why, all of a sudden there's this course, right, of bar and restaurant.
Okay.
So become a first class barman and a first class waiter.
Right.
And everybody was going for it. And I was like, all right, maybe I can have a go on that.
Just for reference, how old were you back then?
Oh, I was 18, 17, something like that.
Yeah,
18, 17,
sure.
you know. And everybody was like, "Oh man, it's gonna be great. We're gonna learn how to do the cocktails. We're gonna be like Tom Cruise, yeah, man." You know, I had to wear a suit. You have to wear, all the shebang. Working hotels, 5 class, 5 star, 3 star, 4 star, whatever.
That's the
And
picture.
it was interesting. It was interesting at some point, and then I realized that it wasn't for me,
Sure.
and I did waste a bit of time, and then obviously I didn't complete it. I must admit I didn't complete it, and that's where the tattoo thing came in picture because on the picture because I had a girlfriend at the time. Obviously, I'm from Coimbra, and my girlfriend was living in Lisbon, which is 2 hours south
Yeah.
from Coimbra. And at the time, I was in and out, going see her, and she was a piercer at the tattoo shop at the time. And she asked me, so do you know how to draw? I said, yeah, I can draw. Not that great. I was just an artist. Yeah, I could draw, but
Yeah.
not into that level of like professional. And I did. I tried it for a while, and I was accepted in the tattoo shop, and I was an apprentice, and I'd done all that. And then I must admit, I fell a little bit into depression because Lisbon was a big city. It was a massive city. Too fast. Too. It's like I was because I was young. I was probably 21, 22. So uh, things didn't went very well. Me and the girlfriend, and then we end up splitting up. And obviously, I moved back to my city. And then obviously I fell into it was even worse because then it was the boredom of I'm not doing what I want to do with
Yeah.
music, and obviously I have the pressure of the family. Oh, you haven't finished your studies, but now you have to find a job, and I was a bit misplaced. I was a little bit fuck. My guitarists and my drummers and everyone was like studying. They were doing something for themselves. The music wasn't appealing in Portugal, and that was the time that my cousin asked me, "Oh, you want to come over?"
Yeah, and you took the chance.
And I took the chance,
Yeah.
and it was probably the best thing I ever done in my life.
Do you miss Portugal?
Not really.
No?
No,
Oh,
I don't miss Portugal at all.
nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Food, weather.
Nothing at all.
Oh,
Nothing at all. And and the reason is, it's so close.
sure.
I see Portugal every day. I see my family every day. Again, it's social media.
Sure.
I can see who's good, who's bad. I can see, this is the thing that a lot of people have this idea of, oh, I need to go to Portugal to eat a sandwich from Portugal, whatever. It's nice. Don't
Yeah.
take me wrong. If you present me now food, Portuguese food, oh, well, mate, I just go over. I'm there, But I don't because, again, I became so used to travel so much that other things will suppress Portugal.
Yeah.
I can go to Germany and I know what I can eat in Germany. I know what I see in
Not
Germany. I
much.
know.
You
It
can't eat
depends. It
much.
depends where you go. It depends where you go.
I'm not. I'm only joking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
It's known that German cuisine is not the best, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
because they don't advertise the good stuff, they don't marketing their
Sure.
food. This is the thing, But I know I go to Italy and I know I'm going to eat well. I go to Spain, I know where I'm going to eat well.
Sure.
So the world for me is it's so much you learn with the world.
Sure.
That okay, you miss Portugal. What do I miss about Portugal? Okay, I miss waking up and having the sun in my head. I miss going to a swimming pool. Outdoors, and have sitting down in a big plaza. With a nice beer, which these little things you don't do much in UK.
Right.
You don't do.
You don't do.
You don't do really. And
You can sit down in a beer garden when the sun is out, but that's about that's not about it. You can still go to the park and to trekking. There's a lot of places to go trekking and.
But think about it. Another thing. I came over when I was 23.
So you're very.
I'm 43. So I shaped my life. I had my education, my childhood up to 23 in Portugal, and my adulthood, my sense of responsibilities, my being an adult in a way in UK. So I guess it's you already you shaped your personality with two worlds.
I'm the same. I was 21 when I came here,
There you go.
and
So
now
you
I'm
know.
32. So it's been 10 years ish.
Yes.
And I completely
You
understand what you
understand
mean.
that.
I
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
be on my own in that age where you know but you don't know, and you still figuring out, and you still have to do a lot of trial and error. Don't get me wrong, everyone still goes through trial and error throughout their lives, but
Of course.
the more you grow, the wiser you get. Um, but yeah, I completely get what you mean. I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree.
That's how it is. That's how it is. And then
Mm.
obviously, I miss Portugal. Okay, I miss my family. Of course, you know, everyone misses a family. If your family was it was strong bond, of course, and my family is a strong bond. But like I said, it's like it feels like everyone is fine. You know, it's like you can call your mom,
Yeah.
and it's like I'm talking to my mom like I saw her yesterday. You
Yeah.
know, and sometimes we are like a month without talking. But I see her on Facebook and she posts a message. Oh, that gig was great. Oh, you look great. Oh, this is. So it's like you always there.
Yeah.
You know, and the family, everyone is there. Plus, we have group chats. We
Yeah.
all know each other. We all know what we're doing. We all see pictures of
For
everything.
sure.
So it doesn't affect me as much. Maybe if I didn't have so much access to internet or to the media, obviously it would be different. You know.
I never thought about it this way, but yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true.
because I don't know. I do miss Sardinia, but
Hmm.
not to that extent where I'm like, oh, I need to go. Like,
Exactly.
I just go there because of maybe I want to have a break from work, and
Sure,
I just
sure,
want to see
sure,
my
sure,
family. I
sure.
just want to eat,
Sure, sure, sure.
whatever my auntie cooks, and
Of course, of
because I'm
course, of course.
one thing of these podcasts that I always ask is food, because I'm very curious about food and what people, I've had some Brazilian
Food, yes.
people and their stuff is like barbecue.
Of course.
You know what I mean? What about Portugal? What is your
Don't
go-to?
start me on that, please, because
Well,
I'm going to
because
be
you're hungry.
watering. I'm going to start watering. I'm watering already. You know. No, Portugal is very. There's a lot of variety of food. You know,
Sure.
I love fish. You know,
Same.
so there you go. I love fish, and I do love a grilled fish. I love barbecues. I love chicken peri peri. You know the.
Oh,
Yeah, of
okay.
course.
Is that Portuguese?
Yes, of
Peri
course,
peri.
100%,
How is it?
100%. Well, it's not Portuguese. It's Portuguese marketing. It was brought by the Portuguese from Africa, and
Oh.
obviously the marketing became big, but the grilled chicken that you see, like for example Nando's and all
Nando's.
that stuff. See, you have the grills in every neighborhood. There's like a grill that they make the chicken for you. They
Yeah.
grill it. You call them and say, "Oh, can I get 2 or 3 chickens?" They grill it for you. You know,
Ah.
and that's the chicken peri peri. So it's the grills. You know, so.
So it's not the sauce, it's not the sauce.
No, the sauce obviously. What is piri piri? Piri piri is chili. Piri piri is a type of chili, and
Yeah.
obviously we made it our way. So it's the spice. I mean, the hot sauce from Portugal. It's piri piri.
Right.
But like every country that is like that is predominant into eating hot food, they
Yeah.
have their own thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Obviously
like
the Spanish have their own version. The Mexicans have their own, and obviously the Thai chili. Which actually was the Portuguese who introduced it
what to Thailand?
to Thailand.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
When was this?
Ooh, come on, man.
You don't know. It's fine.
1500s.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not,
1500s.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
time of that Portuguese were
Yeah.
at sea
yeah,
all the
yeah.
time,
I see what you
constantly.
mean.
You know. But that's
Ah.
yeah, but yeah, peri peri is trademarked. It is a Portuguese trademark thing.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I just didn't know it was Portuguese for some
Yeah.
reason. People might be laughing at me like,
No.
you didn't know.
It's originally
But
African because of the colonies, because
Mm.
obviously Portugal was in Africa for many years.
They imported it from Africa to Portugal.
Yeah,
and
it
then
was
from
trading, trades. It was all the trades.
Yeah.
You will get something from one place. Like spices, like
Yeah.
anything.
You
And,
like?
that's-
Do you prefer Portuguese food or Italian food?
Don't be
I'm not
mean.
gonna take offense.
Don't be mean.
I'm not
Come
gonna
on,
take
man.
offense.
Um,
I'm just asking here.
if I'm going to be honest with you, I probably eat more Italian food in UK than Portuguese.
But who cooks? the Italian food that you were
Yeah, but the
talking
Italian
about.
food, it's just isn't common pasta. Come on,
Yeah,
pasta.
you can't say that to me right now.
No,
You
I mean,
can't say it's common pasta.
no, I mean, not common pasta. Well, I can explain. Not being rude. It's just,
You are being rude.
I'm sorry.
I'm totally joking.
No, no,
with
no, no. It's the Portuguese food is more complex to
Mm.
make, and obviously, come on, let's face it. If you ask a child of 5 years old what is Italian food, they go pasta,
Pasta, pizza,
pizza,
yeah, sure.
lasagna,
Yeah.
anything. Which, mate, I love it. I love it.
Like I
But
said, I'm not gonna take offense.
no,
I'm just asking
that's how it
questions
is.
here.
But obviously, I'm gonna say it's Portuguese food
Yeah.
because it's. But I can't say about Italian food
It doesn't
because
involve
you
memories.
have yes, yeah,
Yeah.
because you have probably the same food in Italy that it is in Portugal.
100%. It just made it differently.
Exactly, and it's way more than pizza and pasta. I know
Like-
you have great fish. I know you have great meat. I know you have great cheese. I know you have great wine. So if you put it all together and you say, okay, I like this Italian wine, but I prefer this Portuguese wine.
Mm-hmm.
But this wine from Portugal in this region is worse than this one from Italy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can compare because we're all Mediterranean, so
be fair,
it's
That's what
how
I'm
it
trying to
works.
say. Like the whole Mediterranean thing.
Exactly.
We have great food, but what is food without company, without family, without
Exactly.
On its own, food is just to keep you alive. But
There you go.
I think in North Europe they see food as to keep you alive, right? And to
Yes,
go out
yes, yes.
sometimes,
Calories. It's more calories
and that,
than
But in
than
the south,
cultural.
like where we are,
Yes,
like
yes.
Portugal, Spain, Italy, whatever, and in the Balkans as well. I think there are
Yes, Balkans. Yeah,
Um,
of course.
we see it as a
Yes.
I don't know, let's do a barbecue this Sunday so
Yes.
that we can be together and you eat good food while you have good company and
Yes, exactly.
and it's a different way of experiencing food.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
But if you look at it geographically, if you see Portugal, Spain, parts of France, and then Italy, and then a little bit down there in Greece,
Croatia, right?
well,
No?
Croatia a little bit, not so much. But for example, what other things in common is bread, olive oil, garlic, tomato, and wine.
And fish in the coastal areas.
I'm saying the basic
Yeah,
ingredients
yeah.
for you to have food
No,
is
it's true.
it's that it's
Mm.
the wine, it's the garlic, it's the olive oil, and the bread. It's there, and then obviously what's everything in common? Yeah, it's the fish.
Yeah. Yeah, you have meat and you just cook it differently with
Yeah,
the same ingredients.
Yeah.
That's true.
it's
I've never
it's
considered
it's just
that.
how you make it. It's how the traditions, how like I said at the time, how you prepare it. It's
Mhm.
how you create the recipes based on something.
Yeah.
Based on anything, based on what you had at hand at the time. But
Sure.
that was the predominance. That was the ingredients.
still
that-
is.
It still is,
Yeah,
and
it
it's
still is.
incredible how it's just how you make things.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing about the southern
Yeah, the geography.
Mediterranean.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I've never thought about it, but yeah, I think I've never been to Greece, but I have been to France and Spain. I've never been to Portugal actually.
You should.
Yeah, I
should
definitely
visit.
should.
You like you surf or something? Didn't you say
surf? I
you do
was
water sports or something?
no, I did. I don't know. Why did you remember this? Did we talk about this maybe?
Maybe.
Because I was maybe. Oh, I don't know. Maybe we're talking about here. I did have to go to a BJJ surf camp. So it was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and surf in the same camp.
Okay,
It
okay.
was in Portugal.
Right.
Maybe
right,
we
right.
talked about this when we saw each other.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying if you like that kind of stuff, we got places in Portugal
Yeah.
for surf, and obviously jiu-jitsu and all that as well is quite big in Portugal.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you like beach and obviously you go south,
I'm from Sardinia.
there you go. You got beach all around
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
My friend a few days ago said, "Shall we go to the beach this weekend? Because it's been nice weather here in the UK, right?" I was like, no, I'm not gonna go to the beach here. Sorry.
I've been to the beach in UK 3 times, I
Yeah.
think,
It's
but not to the beach. I mean, I went to the beach. Where did I go? I can tell you where I go. I went to Brighton like 3 times.
Is it good?
No.
Mm.
I went to Blackpool No, it's not good.
Okay.
I went to actually the only place I would say that was nice was Poole, which is down south,
Right.
really down south. If you just follow a straight line, I think it's Southampton. I don't even remember where it was, and that was actually nice.
Right.
Actually nice. I never been to Cornwall, so I don't know. Everybody tells me about Cornwall,
Cornwall's,
and it's nice and everything is nice. I never been.
From the pictures, looks good.
Yeah, but I'm not a beach person. I'm gonna be honest with you. And
I'm not gonna lie, me neither. Not anymore, at least. I just unless I've a lot of cold beers with me. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I get bored and it's too hot. I can't deal with the heat anymore.
I'm the same.
Do you think it's because we've been here for so long that we're just like not used to it anymore?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I never been. Honestly, I've never been into the heat. I find it quite uncomfortable. I can't work in the heat.
Me neither.
I find it working in the cold better personally. Now I must admit with you, I might need to start considering to get some more sun because actually I feel way worse with the cold. It's like, I don't know why. It's just everything hurts. Everything hurts. Yes, everything hurts. Everything hurts. It's just like it's old age. It's just like you push for your body so much.
You know that old, come on.
No, but you start feeling how your body gets old when you start feeling these little pains. You wake up in the morning, everything hurts.
Do you do any sport during the week? Normal?
No, I'm on and off. I have this strain of like for a year I can go to the gym and I be like super fit, and then for 1 year I can be slow. and actually after this tour, it actually opened up a little bit of the interest again. Like, I need to go to the gym because I feel strong. Don't take me wrong. I feel great. I feel when it comes to do heavy lifting or anything. Yeah. And I said, well, I need to shape up a little bit more. So,
do you like martial arts?
I've done a bit of kickboxing, but it wasn't very appealing. It was too. I don't know. It was another thing that I would take my time, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Because you have to follow. Obviously, it's discipline, and I have nothing wrong against the discipline. It's just more of that you have to follow that routine for martial arts.
You have to go to learn. You have to be to the class. You have to follow the class. You have to drill. Yeah.
And that would occupy a lot of my brain for it, And when you have so much other stuff to do. But when I joined kickboxing, it was more of the cardio side of it, because I was always lifting heavy stuff. I was always into bodybuilding, and me and my brother is way bigger than me.
You can tell you're like quite
but
strong
like
guy.
I said, it's just with the time it just goes. You lose the shape. You eat anything that comes. Especially on tour, and then. Honestly, on tour, you just eat what they give you, and you just stop in the next petrol station to have a sandwich and a pack of crisps and a drink. And this is like to keep going, It's just you can't be selective.
Like you said earlier, these things are things that you have to follow.
Exactly.
You need a routine. You need to go to the gym. Not every day, but if you can, just go every day.
Of course.
And if you can't, you just have to live the way you can. Really, if you gotta eat from the station, you have to eat from the station.
Exactly. Yeah. And you try, and you have a bit of conscience, like, I need to eat more fruit. And you say, well, where's the fruit? I can't have fruit because there's no fruit in here. And I can't just deviate from the journey where we are to go to a fruit place to get fruit, if you understand what I mean. So you have to go with the flow, how it works with when it comes to this, I'm back. I'm feeling way much better, now because I'm back into my food routine now.
I'm not even gonna ask you to come and try jiu-jitsu then, because if you don't like the routine, and
it's not about not liking the routine, it's just something that I can't have anymore. It's an extra hobby, which is very interesting, don't take me wrong. I considered years ago maybe join
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yes, I did consider that, just for the point of exercise. I'm not a person that uses martial arts for the point of, or the concept of attacking other people or anything.
Maybe for defense, but
maybe. But I don't. I'm a gentle giant. Don't take me wrong.
No. Yeah, but you never know if a person attacks you.
Sure.
I'm sure you can handle yourself, and don't get me wrong.
Sure. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Like I said, but in 20 years I've been in UK, for example, I never felt threat or any kind of violence behavior towards me. So and actually in my life, I don't remember being threatened by anyone. I must admit, for 43 years, I don't remember. I don't remember bullies. I don't remember
I do.
being bullied. I don't remember. I never bullied anyone, and I don't. Like I said, it's martial arts is a concept of, for me, is more of a physical thing.
Sure.
Just like you remember watching Van Damme, and watching Van Damme films, and you see him doing all this stuff, and you're a
Van
kid.
Damme.
Van Damme, yeah, or kickboxing films or anything to do with
Bruce
with
Lee,
martial
things like
arts,
that.
Bruce Lee, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Actors, like,
Yeah.
oh, I like this. I really want to do this, And you're a kid, you're a dreamer, and it was like, and you have the body for it. I remember
Sure.
I was a kid, I could just move around like crazy.
Yeah.
And obviously, it comes to a point that it's not about the dream anymore. It's more about maintain your body. You want to be flexible.
Not gonna lie, there's like older people training at the gym where I train.
Of
and
course,
they-
obviously, and that's listen. I was training in a gym in Swindon,
Yeah.
and the trainer I think was like 70s, and the most amazing thing is, he would tell you to do an exercise which was very, very difficult. You know how it is, the exercises, the post training and the cardio sessions. He would do that exercise 10 times. Then he would ask you to do. Like,
Yeah.
so I want you to do 4 times of this. He will do 10, 20. He will show you how to do it. And I'm like, this man is in the 70s.
Yeah. And
You
it makes
know-
you realize,
You know,
like you said, but then if you ain't got the time, again,
exactly.
it comes
It's,
back to
it's
that.
about time.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It gets to a point that your brain just needs to. Okay, I need to focus on this new album, which I have 20 songs. I need to work the structure of an album and work out the guitars and the bass and everything.
You got more of a dynamic life, let's say.
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's what I could manage to put in my life.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I said, a lot of stuff I try not to have because it's distraction,
Sure.
and I don't want to deviate from my plan, which is obviously the music, which is what's driving me at the moment.
And listen,
obviously-
you don't have to do it if you don't feel like doing. You don't have to do it
No,
just
no,
because. Yeah, if you feel healthy, if you feel alright, just
yeah,
you
of course.
have to keep doing whatever you want.
Yeah, of course.
One question I normally ask the guest is, what would you suggest to someone that is thinking of leaving their home to pursue their dream or to change their life?
Well, it depends on the circumstances of every individual. It depends on if you're a man or a woman, and it also depends on what country you're going. But as I mentioned before, plan A, plan B. Always plan A, plan B. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, make sure that you don't get to the stage where you get damaged from just throwing yourself into something that you don't know. Plan ahead. Always plan ahead. It's good to, don't think where you are, think where you're going to be. Always plan ahead. This is very important. And be individual. Try to seek help, but try to seek help into a manner which is less personal to people. Okay? It's good to know people from your community, but it's also good to not join communities. Try to do the things by yourself. Expand your mind. When you get stuck into communities, sometimes you get stuck and you don't see outside the box. Always think outside the box.
I totally agree with this.
Okay? Always think outside the box. And remember, you're not in your country, so you need to be ready for everything. Always see the pros and the cons of everything that you do. This is the most important thing. But yes, always think plan A, plan B. It will help you a lot. But nowadays you have media, so you can see reviews. Remember, reviews. You have blogs, you have group chats. You can see by their own experiences. I am not going to tell you what's good for me that's going to be good for you. No, not every individual is different. Every life goal is different. What's good for me might not be good for you.
Sure.
So what I always advise is, okay, don't keep your expectations low so your disappointment is not going to be high. This is my advice for everyone. Sometimes not everything is painted in gold.
Yeah.
You have to paint it in gold yourself. So always think ahead, always plan. Okay? And yeah, again, try to be individual. If you have family, it's perfect, because that's half of the things done.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you need to go through a lot of bureaucracy, when you move to another country. If you want to do the things right.
Yeah.
England works both ways. And we all know how it works.
With Brexit now is kind of
Yes, of course. Now it's difficult. Yeah, of course. If you come in a way, if you're a professional, if you have a degree in something, and you obviously you have a sponsor, that's easy.
Yeah.
That's your life is done.
That's much
in a
easier,
way.
yeah.
But if you are a person that comes from a background that is a bit like me, like okay, you just want to follow the cultural side of things, you want to be part of this culture. Okay, which is the thing that I always wanted to, that I want to aim. I didn't want it to come here and be Portuguese.
Yeah.
I am Portuguese. I'm very proud of being Portuguese. And everywhere I go, I always say I'm Bruno and I'm Portuguese. And I always take my music, and everybody I go, and everybody knows I am Portuguese. And I have, with pride, I say this. But like I said, I don't have to live the Portuguese culture abroad. I can live it in little moments.
Yeah.
I know there's a little shop in the corner that I can get some codfish, bacalhau, and I can cook the bacalhau for me, the Portuguese way. But it's not that I wanted to or need. It's like, okay, if I have the opportunity, I'll do it.
Sure.
But remember, yes, plan A, plan B.
Makes sense.
Always.
I've got quite a fun question. What is the most British thing about you now?
Oh, wow. That's wow. I don't even know. I don't know, really.
For me, I said this with Elton when he was here. He's one of the guests from Brazil. Is tea. I drink a lot of tea.
Never been into the tea thing.
No, but that's for me.
Yes,
for
yes,
example,
yes,
you know what I mean?
yes.
British people always
Yes,
got
the tea, yeah,
right?
yeah.
What's your British thing? I don't know. It could be anything. It could be like I don't know. They what do British people do? For example, they small chat.
Yes,
like that,
the love thing.
The what?
The love. The ending the sentences to a girl like cheers, love. Oh, I love.
Right.
That is.
You use that.
Yes,
You're
I use that all the time. That is very, very.
I find it a little bit cringy. I find it a little bit.
No, because
not
you
creepy, cringy.
No, you will. I guess once you dominate the lingo, when you say, I still have a lot of Portuguese accent. It's very hard to disguise, but it makes more. It's a comfort when you have a chat with a person.
Yeah.
Obviously a British person.
Yeah.
I guess gives more a sense of comfort and more of a cultural comfort.
Right.
It's like if you go to a shop and the person smiles at you. Obviously, if I'm saying this, a person is British, and obviously with that background, and there's a smile. So cheers, love. It became so natural.
Right.
This is how I see it. It's just switches. It's a switch. That you have. Yeah, but the love. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, cheers, love.
No, I never used that.
Yeah.
I never liked when they use it with me either, for some reason. I don't know. It's me. Is that?
Yes, of course. Thing, yeah.
I don't know. It's just
you get used to it, I guess. Give it another 10 years, you get used to it. You will come out. You'll see.
I don't know.
You'll see.
I don't know if it's for me. That.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we can wrap it up here.
Sure.
If you wanna,
pleasure.
Your name of the band, The Brains.
The Brains.
S or Z at the end, is it?
It's with an S.
Brains.
Yes, The Brains.
I will try and put the link for your Instagram.
Sure.
At the end of the video.
There's plenty of stuff on YouTube, so you.
And on YouTube. And your next tour is gonna be this year, hopefully in Canada, right?
Yes, September, October.
Yeah.
So that's guaranteed. But we have a couple of shows towards the year. got May, June, July, August. We have
Yeah.
all over the place. We got France, we got Spain.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of shows in London actually. Well,
This year.
yeah, this year in
I'm gonna try and
Halloween.
come and see
Halloween,
them.
yeah, in London.
Oh, okay. Please do let me know because I really want to come
I'll
and
try
see
to
as well.
remember,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I'll
Me
try to
too.
remember. There's so many people asking me
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I know.
Oh, can
I
you
know.
remind me?
Yeah.
So sorry, man. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Just follow us and
I do.
keep an eye on our posts and
Yeah.
stuff. You know.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, guys, listen to their music 'cause it's banging. It's really funky, like energizing.
It's rock and roll.
Rock and
It's
roll.
rock and roll.
Yeah,
Everybody loves rock and
it's
roll.
great. Yeah, thank you for today. It's been a great pleasure. And
Sure.
hopefully I'll see you soon again.
Thank you very much for having me.
sometime. And thank you very much, guys. See you later.
Thank you.
Cheers, Bruno.
Take care.